Hello, and welcome to Restoration, Romanticism, and Realism in Early Modern Theater. Theater constantly has evolved to reflect the world around it, from the glamorous Restoration comedies to the emotionally charged romantic plays to the truth-seeking realist dramas. Each movement in early modern theater helped shape what we recognize as modern performance today. So let's take a quick journey through the three major theatrical moments that emerged between the 1600s to the 1800s, which would be Restoration, Romanticism, and Realism. And I'm on the wrong thing. There we go. Restoration theater. This was from the late 1600s to the early 1700s. This happened after the English monarchy was restored in 1660, hence the name Restoration. Theaters had been closed under the Puritans and were reopened when Charles II took the throne. Charles loved French theater and brought continental influence back to England. Turn the page. Key features. They had witty comedies focused on love, sex, and social status, satirical plots that poked fun at manners, hypocrisy, upper-class behavior. Actresses were appearing on stage for the very first time in England. This was a very exciting time. They had lavish costumes, indoor proscenium stages. It was fancy. Famous playwrights of this time. I went too soon. Famous playwrights would be Aphra Behn, who is one of the first professional female playwrights, William Congreve and George Etheridge. They were both known for their clever dialogue and biting humor. One of the big takeaways from this was that Restoration theater was bold, it was bawdy, it was brilliant at mocking society's rules. It was Shakespeare amped up. A lot of the things that were prevalent in Shakespeare's day still happened in Restoration, but it was a little more in your face. We then moved to Romanticism. This would be the late 1700s to the mid 1800s. This was a reaction against the order and the reason of the Enlightenment and neoclassicism. It was influenced by the ideals of freedom, individualism, and emotion. It was inspired by political revolutions like ours and the one in France, and a growing focus on nature and imagination. Now I have to get to the right spot. Key features. Emphasis on emotion over reason, individuals over society. It celebrated heroes, outcasts, and dreamers. Plays were often adventurous. They were exotic. They were supernatural. Characters were larger than life. It used poetic language, very dramatic settings. Famous playwright, probably the most famous playwright of this time, is Victor Hugo. His piece Hermione was so controversial, it caused actual riots in the theater, and he wrote the original Les Miserables. We also had Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, who blended philosophy and myth. And something I forgot about Victor Hugo, which is why I have it here, he wrote The Hunchback of Notre Dame, on which the Disney film is based. Romanticism gave, more than anything, gave theater back its heart. It focused on feelings, dreams, and the inner self, as opposed to making fun or satire or poking at other people. It was cool. Let's get to realism. This is our next big shift. This was the mid to late 1800s. It developed during the Industrial Revolution, which was a time of major, major social change. It reacted against the exaggeration of romanticism and melodrama. Playwrights wanted to show real life, real people, real problems on stage. So you see how these shifts worked. We started with the Restoration, and the theater was X because of Y. We then moved to Romanticism, which was a reaction against the X and Y, to Z and Q. We're now reacting against that with realism, which is a reaction against what came before. Let me get to key features. Key features. Everyday settings, living rooms, kitchens, modest homes. We're not in grand mansions as much. We're not in castles. We're not in forests. We're in day-to-day life. Characters speak a natural dialogue. They face familiar struggles. It's about marriage. It's about money. It's about family. It's about society. It's not an iambic pentameter. It's not in verse. It's how people talk. Very strong issues, very strong focus on societal issues like gender roles, class struggles, personal morality. Minimal spectacle here. Truth was more important than theatrics. Nope, I need my famous playwrights. Give me my playwrights. There they are. Ibsen, who wrote A Doll's House and Ghosts, which you guys will watch. Chekhov, Cherry Orchard, very famous. Siegel wrote lots and lots. And August Strindberg, who explored ideas of class and psychology. Going back to the other ones, Ibsen, with Dollhouse and with The Ghost, he questioned marriage. He worked on gender roles. He pushed that boundary. Chekhov, very subtle emotions, very internal conflict, complete transparency. I hate Chekhov. He is probably my least favorite playwright because he is so anti-spectacle. He's so subtle emotions and internal conflict. And I like things to be big and bold. I want giant phantoms on the stage and fairy tales, but that's a personal. He is considered to be one of the leading playwrights of his time. Very, very brilliant. And his work is still done today. All of this work is still done today. Realism at this point brought stage closer to real life. It brought things closer to what they are now. It was intimate, it was honest, it was socially aware. And we still have playwrights working in all of these genres. Um, from the witty social games of the Restoration, through the poetry of Romanticism, to the grounded truth of realism, all of these brought us a little closer to understanding ourselves and who we were as people through the art of theater. They turn the stage into a space where both fantasy and real life could be explored and, like theater is, reflect that back to us. Theater is a mirror through which we see society. And this is where that became more and more closer to what was. So that's the 3 R's.